Hello, everybody. It's Bigfoot, Michigan Rob. It's Saturday. It's about 12:30. It's a fabulous day here in the state of Michigan. I hope that the weather is great wherever you may be tuning on in. I got a great encounter subscriber story sent in. Got this several months ago. Actually, about a year ago, to be honest with you. And you're going to like it. Tell me what you think about this. Is this some sort of cryptid? Is it Sasquatch? Is it something else? Is it a manifestation from this man's imagination, perhaps? I don't know, but it's truly pretty scary. It's a scarier one. So I think you're going to like it. Tonight, my channel tonight at midnight, the Saturday Midnight Show, we got the Blondes and Booze doing a live investigation from the Ashmore Estates. I'll be doing that live as they traverse about the Ashmore Estates. Supposedly it's haunted. We'll find out, see what type of things they come up with. Please subscribe to Bigfoot Michigan Rob on YouTube if not already. I appreciate love each and every single one of you. And I'm just going to get on with it. Have a great day. And this is this takes place in the Porcupine Mountains of Michigan. I've gotten quite a few from Michigan of late. And I'm pretty sure you're going to like this one. So I'm going to get on with it. This encounter takes place in the Upper Peninsula's Porcupine Mountains during the summer of 2015. If you have never seen the Upper Peninsula in the state of Michigan, many that live here describe this as their own personal God's country, where you can see signage proudly displayed throughout the various counties of the Upper Peninsula during your travels. This great land is lush with deep and dense forests full of wildlife surrounded by Lake Michigan to the west, Lake Superior to the north, Lake Huron to the east. This is the perfect getaway for vacationers who perhaps you are in need of a lifestyle change and just want to get away from the constant hustle and bustle of Detroit and all the surrounding suburbs. With all the beauty that surrounds this section of North America, the encounter, of which I want to remain anonymous, call me Jimmy. It happened to be one of my absolute worst days of my life in my 35 years living in the Porcupine Mountains. Jimmy gets up bright and early on a Monday morning and decides to go hike a certain section of the mountains that he had never explored. He parked his Jeep Wrangler at a location where he felt comfortable leaving it and proceeded to walk just outside of the tree line in search of a path or trail leading up into the mountains, which were displayed gloriously in the background of the forest. After an hour or so of hiking, Jimmy became frustrated and he cannot find a clearing in which to travel. He then stumbles upon some thick brush along the perimeter of the woods and notices a large opening or hole, maybe the size of a commercial airliner tire. Jimmy crouches down and looks inside of this gap and notices that it goes pretty deep into the forest and appears to open a bit up where he could now walk. Jimmy, prepared with a machete, starts to cut away at the foliage as he starts working through the area. After about 20 feet of working at this path, or on the path, Jimmy decides to turn around when he notices that the path appeared to expand and give enough room where he now could stand fully upright. Excitement and an adrenaline rush now overtakes Jimmy's body, and he continues forward. Jimmy, describing what he is walking down, opens up like a tunnel that is made of brush, trees on either side of him. Covering him at the top of this tunnel is also covered with thick, dense brush, tree limbs, and other assorted foliage. After 9 or 10 minutes, Jimmy can now again walk upright without the need of the machete to plow forward, when all of a sudden, he feels the need to turn back. He can't put a feeling on why he suddenly was overcome with this, especially after putting all this hard work in, but his intuition took over, and he turned back out of the tunnel. Several days went past, and Jimmy felt the need to go back and finish the adventure that he had started going down the tunnel. The end of the week neared, and Jimmy goes back for a second time and intends to finish what he had started. He was wondering why this location had such a hold on him, and his curiosity told him to find out why. Jimmy approached the tunnel and proceeded past the area where he last turned around. After traveling 20 feet ahead, a smell starts to overtake him. It was a pungent smell of both body odor and wet animal fur. Frustrated, Jimmy once again decides to turn back when he notices the light at the end of the tunnel. You need to take note that this is a sunny day, but the foliage of this tunnel casts his surroundings in a shade, perhaps as though it's like twilight. Not dark, yet not very bright, just enough to see without the need of a flashlight. Upon realizing the end of his destination is near, he runs to the daylight. Jimmy, only several yards from the end of the tunnel, trips and falls over something. When Jimmy gets his bearings, he is horrified that he is now covered in blood, as he realizes that he tripped over the freshly dead carcass of a deer that appeared to be torn into several pieces. Jimmy now panics and once again decides to turn back, as he believes he has entered a den of some sort of predator. As Jimmy turns back to leave, he realizes he can't see. He realizes that Excuse me, you guys. As Jimmy turns back to leave, he realizes that he can't, as he hears a growl and notices a massive head with dark yellow eyes spaced at least a foot apart staring directly at him about 20 feet away. This creature was spread out on all fours, of which the legs seemed to touch either side of the walls of the tunnel. This is massive, and Jimmy panics and turns back to run toward the daylight at the end of the tunnel. Jimmy can hear the beast pursuing him, and it seemed like it was gaining ground when Jimmy sprawled out at the end of the tunnel and fell several feet from the tunnel's edge into a meadow right at the foothills of the Porcupine Mountains. Jimmy got up, dared not to look back, and continued to run. About 20 yards before he was exhausted, he stops. Jimmy realizes all is silent and instinctively realizes that he is no longer being pursued. He knew he had to look back. The four-legged creature was at the mouth of the tunnel when it then proceeded to stand up on two legs, letting out a chilling scream, got back on four legs, and disappeared back into the tunnel. Jimmy now realizes that he has to find a new way back to get home or get to his vehicle. He wandered for what seemed to be hours when he finally reached a road. He sat down to rest when a logging truck came into view and stopped to provide assistance. Jimmy got into the truck and reluctantly told his story to his newfound hero. The driver of the truck listened to his story and assured Jimmy that he was not the only person to witness this creature. Jimmy asked the driver, "What is it?" Driver replied, "The ancient one, known as Sasquatch." That was short and sweet. I don't know. Sasquatch, I mean, this is something different, I think. But maybe it's not. We all know, we've heard about the Sasquatch with his spider crawls. I think it's very interesting that he was in some predatorial cave, tripped over the deer, the dead deer, covered in blood. Certainly this guy's terrified. Sees those yellow eyes a foot apart, as he says, watching. And then he runs, gets to daylight, turns back and sees this creature stand up. Didn't give a description, obviously, in this email what it actually looked like, but it was some sort of creature. Does that sound like Sasquatch or Bigfoot behavior to you? Perhaps it does. Certainly the logger would know more because, you know, all these guys in the logging industry know a lot about Sasquatch and Bigfoot in these, they see them probably more than they're willing to provide us, or provide even their boss of the logging industry, because that's kind of a no-no. But what do you think about that one? It was nice and short for this Saturday. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe to Bigfoot Michigan Rob if not already. You have a great day. And tonight, Blondes and Booze live from Ashmore Estates on my channel, midnight, 11 Central, 12 in East. It should be pretty fun to see what they come up with. I'm Bigfoot Michigan Rob. You have a great day. God bless.